everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Wednesday. I think there's a lot of tired people around the country today.
The day after. Oh, you have your microphone on?
Apparently not.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4.
It's the day after the election. We'll roll with it.
Wednesday, yes. We have a lot of news to get to today, so here's what's making news today. Election results continue to come in almost 24 hours after the first polls closed across the country.
The control of the Senate is still up in the air. We'll talk about the balance of power in Congress as the votes come in.
And tomorrow's Packers game is in doubt after the 49ers are forced to pause operations due to a COVID-19 test. But we start here in Wisconsin, where all major outlets are calling Wisconsin for Joe Biden.
Unofficially, he has beat President Trump by a margin of about 20,000 votes, or about 0.3%. As expected, President Trump was leading the state through much of last night, but absentee ballots from Milwaukee, Brown County, and Kenosha pushed Joe Biden over the threshold. The Trump campaign says it will request a recount, saying, quote, the president is well within the threshold to request a recount and will immediately do so. In Wisconsin, recounts are not automatic and must be requested by a campaign. Campaigns are allowed to request a recount if the result of the vote is under 1% with a race with more than 4,000 votes.
CBS News has also declared Joe Biden a winner in Michigan. In Pennsylvania, more than 1 million absentee ballots still have to be counted. Officials say it could take days before the winner is known there. The president tweeted this afternoon they are working hard to make up a 500,000 vote advantage in Pennsylvania disappear likewise, Michigan and others. Overnight, he called the counting process a fraud and claimed victory. The president said he'll take his vote count fight to the Supreme Court. The Biden camp responded its legal teams are ready. The Trump campaign filed a lawsuit in Michigan and 2 legal actions in Pennsylvania.
Wisconsin's Election Commission is making it very clear this afternoon that no results are final, and they won't be for several weeks. WEC Administrator Megan Wolf told reporters today counties are just starting to go through the process of canvassing, and that means they're triple checking results. The WEC won't start to complete results until next week.
That is not a process that we made up or adopted. That is according to state law, and we followed state law. Part of democracy is following the laws that have been prescribed by our elected lawmakers. And the elected lawmakers have prescribed this process for canvassing in our jurisdictions.
Wolf says there is still a small Wisconsin township with about 300 votes that has not reported its results to its county clerk. The state does not formally issue its final results until December 1st, which means any results that we're sharing with you before then are based on media compilations. 12-term incumbent Representative Ron Kind has defended his House seat against challenger Derek Van Orden in Wisconsin's 3rd Congressional District. The AP called the election for Congressman Kind this morning, although Kind declared victory overnight. He won the seat by about 11,000 votes.
The balance of power in Congress is still too close to call. 3 key Senate Republicans kept their seats. That's Kentucky's Mitch McConnell, South Carolina's Lindsey Graham, and Maine's Susan Collins. Former Auburn University football coach, Republican Tommy Tuberville, is projected to flip Alabama's Senate seat red after defeating incumbent Democrat Doug Jones. But in Colorado, former Governor John Hickenlooper is flipping a seat there blue, unseating Republican Cory Gardner. Democrats are also keeping a watchful eye on Arizona's race, where Democrat Mark Kelly leads GOP incumbent Martha McSally. The Democrats came up short in their push to flip GOP Senate seats in Iowa, Montana, and Texas. In the House, Republicans have gained more ground than the Democrats, but Democrats are expected to keep control of the House by the slimmest majority in 20 years. Well, following an historic election day, groups here in Madison rallied at the Capitol this afternoon to send a message to election officials as the results continue to come in.
Our Jamie Perez joins us live at Hilldale Mall, where another event is about to happen. Jamie?
So in about a half an hour, we're expecting a car caravan to roll through the area. It's supposed to start right here at the Apple Store, so we should expect to see some cars start to line up here momentarily. Now, the message that they want to get out to leaders is to make sure that every vote is counted, especially given the record number of absentee ballots that were cast this year. Now, earlier today, groups gathered at the state capitol, a group of about 50 to 75 people who are rallying there. They emphasized that same message and reinforced that they want all voices to be a part of democracy, particularly black voters.
We have a lot of folks working really hard since Election Day started to count all the ballots. We need to protect that. We have a system of democracy in this country that needs to be protected. And any attempt to really disrupt that should really be met by the American people with outrage because, like I said, we did the work, we trusted the process. Now let's count the votes and see who won.
And that rally there was meant to get people together for a common cause and show that they care about having a fair election, regardless of who the winner turns out to be. And they said that even after the election, there's still so much work that needs to be done. So they will continue to fight and continue to chant their message until they start to see some societal change.
Jamie Perez, live at Hilldale Mall. Jamie, thank you.
As the results of the election still come in, many people say they were surprised by the results.
A lot of polls showed Joe Biden up in several states, but it's often coming down to just a few thousand votes. And joining us now to talk more about that is our poll expert, the director of the Marquette Law School poll, Charles Franklin. Hi, Charles.
Hi, Charles. How you doing?
How you feeling on the day after?
Good afternoon. Yes, it was a late night.
Yes, it was. A lot of the national polls underperformed. Your polls, though, were pretty much within the margin of error, weren't they?
Pretty close. We had a 4 or a 5 point lead in our last 4 polls of the fall. At the moment, Biden's lead is just under a 1 point margin. So we're off by 4 points on that. If you look at our high turnout model from our last poll release, we had a 4 point margin, so we're off by 3. The upshot is we're off by 3 or 4. That's less than the 7 we were off by last time, and we have the right leading candidate this time, so that's good. But what was unusual this year is how many other pollsters were active in the state. And some were down in the 4 or 5 point range where we were, but there was also a cluster in the 9, 10, and 11 point range. And the discrepancy between those and ours, I think, is both important, and it set the notion here that the margin would be considerably bigger than the 5 points or 4 points that we had.
So what do you think went wrong with some of the polling?
Well, it's a little too early to tell is the honest answer. I think that one of the things we'll look for is, was there a special surge in Election Day turnout that we didn't catch? You know, we had over 3.2 million votes cast yesterday. That's up from just a shade under 3 million 4 years ago. It sets a record for total turnout, though we have had a higher percentage turnout in the past. That's a remarkable rise in votes over just a 4-year period. But as close as the election is, you have to appreciate that that was energy on both sides and may have produced an extra turnout on Election Day that possibly the polling didn't catch. We'll be looking for that.
How do you think the candidates performed here, both candidates?
Well, I think they squeezed just about everything out of the electorate they could have possibly done in terms of turnout, in terms of the closeness of the election. There's perhaps a little bit of interest in the fact that 4 years ago, Donald Trump won the state by just over 20,000 votes, just a shade under 23. If this holds up, Biden wins by about 20,000 the other direction. Also, remember, this is now the 4th of the last 6 elections here to be decided by less than 1 percentage point, by less than 23,000 votes. 4 out of 6 is beginning to be a pattern. And I think it reflects the fact that in our polling, we have 45% Democrat and 45% Republican. We're a very evenly divided state.
And both parties are going to have to look at what happened here and make adjustments to try and widen that gap.
How do you appeal to voters that you're not winning over? Both
Right.
sides are doing a terrific job of getting their voters out.
Absolutely. All right, Charles, get some rest. We'll talk
I'll work on that.
We'll
Thank
talk
you.
to
We'll
soon.
talk to you very soon, Charles. Thanks so much.
Let's take a look outside on this day after. There's the American flag and a full moon behind it. It's pretty cool.
That's a beautiful shot. Oh, give him a break. It's the day after. It was a long night.
What did it say? Did I have the
Mark
marks?
forgot.
Mark forgot.
Why did
It's
I-
all right.
I
We
did
put
forget.
so much effort into those weather words today, too. Coming
What
up
were
with
they?
something. I don't even remember. I don't. I just remember they were really good.
I'll look it up. We'll get back to you.
It's all right. Here's what we're dealing with as far as the weather goes. Another lovely day. Some clouds are starting to sneak in from the south, and I expect more cloud cover to build in as we move into the overnight hours. Our forecast high today was 68. That is exactly where our temperature stands, nail on the head with that forecast high for today. Still seeing temperatures into the 60s, but just as expected, some of us made it towards the 70-degree mark, and that's where Janesville stands right now. 68 and Boscobel, La Crosse coming in at 69. Here's high-resolution Doppler, and you gotta love it. There's nothing on it. We are in for a quiet day, not just in Wisconsin, but a quiet evening all across the country for the most part, other than the clouds and the snowflakes that we see throughout northern Maine. As we look ahead through the rest of this evening, we're going to see those temperatures fall down into the 50s and then eventually the mid-40s for those overnight lows, guys.
The results are in. Stay mild were the weather words.
Yes, that's what it was.
They were good ones.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Of course.
There's a COVID concern over the Packers versus 49ers game tomorrow in San Francisco. Reports say the 49ers shut down their facility today due to COVID-19 test results. ESPN's Adam Schefter says the Packers have not changed their travel plans as of this afternoon. The Packers have also had their own coronavirus problems after running back A.J. Dillon tested positive earlier this week. Two other players, Jamal Williams and Kamal Martin, were close contacts with Dillon and will also be out for tomorrow's game if it still goes on.
To coronavirus headlines now, 42 more people have died in Wisconsin from COVID-19. That brings the statewide total to 2,082. More than 5,100 people have tested positive for the virus since yesterday. UW system officials are working with the federal government to help slow the spread. Federal officials are giving the UW system 250,000 rapid tests. It's part of a new approach to testing called surge testing. It provides extra tests to communities hit hard by COVID.
Well, still to come at 4, as we mentioned, the Trump administration is calling for a recount of Wisconsin votes.
Recounts are likely in many too close to call races. We'll talk with UW political scientist David Cannon when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Your local Monk's Bar and Grill is open for dine-in guests and convenient takeout. Come visit Monk's and enjoy award-winning apps, burgers, and more while dining safely with us. Visit monksbarandgrill.com to order online and easily view our menus.
A smile has the power to get you feeling all right. At Aspen Dental, it's all right to smile again with dentures starting at just $3.99. We craft them in our on-site labs from start to finish, so they never leave our office, and you never have to worry. And with dentures made in as little as a day, you can smile right on schedule. Relief you need at a price you can afford. Right fit, right quality, right price. At Aspen Dental, it's all right to smile again. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL today.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto is a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure. And trust your heart to Entresto.
the holidays, some people have a lot of love to give. Like, a lot. Luckily, Pick and Save has a huge assortment of all your fresh favorites. So givers can keep giving all season long. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Carrier has a complete line of home heating products to keep your family comfortable this winter without burning your budget. With smart temperature management and remote access options, it's easier than ever to control your home's climate. And Carrier energy-efficient systems can help reduce utility bills without sacrificing comfort. For more complete comfort and greater peace of mind, turn to your Carrier expert.
Harker Heating and
Take a break from cooking at home and order takeout from your local Monk's Bar and Grill. Monk's is offering curbside pickup takeout service for your safety and convenience during these difficult times. Visit monksbarandgrill.com for takeout menus and online ordering.
Well, millions of people, as you know, started working from home when the pandemic started.
And it looks like the trend will continue even after the pandemic is over. In a recent survey, 87% of people currently working from home would like the option to keep doing so. Several major corporations are offering many of its employees the ability to do their job at home permanently, including Zillow.
We believe that even if people are working from home, it's going to be important that they have our offices to come together, collaborate, talk through issues.
A study from staffing agency Robert Half found 61% of companies are advertising fully remote jobs, and 60% are now expanding their search geographically to access a wider candidate pool. Workers with kids say performing their jobs at home gives them extra time to spend with their kids who are just steps away when the workday is over. Stocks rise and tech shares rally as investors follow the 2020 election results. The Dow Industrials added 367 points, closing at 27,847. The Nasdaq soared 430 points, and the S&P 500 added 74. If President Trump loses the election, he and his administration say they'll request recounts in states like Wisconsin.
The president also says he will present legal challenges. So what does all of this mean? UW political science professor David Cannon is with us this afternoon. Hi, David.
Hi,
Good
David.
to see you.
Good to be with you.
Boy, what a night. And so many developments this afternoon, too. It's hard to know where to begin with you. But let's start with our state. Joe Biden is the presumptive winner in Wisconsin. And now here come the legal challenges. It feels like a little bit of deja vu, doesn't it?
Well, right, exactly. So when Donald Trump carried our state in 2016 by virtually the identical margin, right around the same 22,000 or so votes, Jill Stein actually called for a recount, the Green Party candidate, in the 2016 election, and it ended up shifting. There were about 1,500 votes that were changed, and it was a very small net pickup for Donald Trump. It had no impact on the final margin. And so when you have a margin that's that large, it really never gets overturned by a recount. That it has to be quite a bit closer than that to have a chance of really changing the outcome of the election.
Her campaign paid for that recount back in 2016. Does the state have to fund this one because it's within the margin?
Right, yeah. So under 1%, then the state, I believe, does pay for it if it's under 1%.
Several states are still out. When do you think we'll know who the president of the United States will be?
Well, it kind of depends on if we have to wait for Pennsylvania, because they're definitely going to be later into the week. I would say Friday probably for Pennsylvania would be a good guess. Nevada is the one other state right now that could put Biden over the top at a very narrow margin of 270, 268. If he ends up winning Nevada, losing Georgia and Pennsylvania, then that would be enough to get the majority for Biden. We could know Nevada, maybe by tomorrow. It's really just the absentee ballots remain to be counted there. Georgia is the other one that we could know probably by tomorrow. So I would say there's a good chance that we should know the result by tomorrow.
The Trump campaign has filed a couple of legal suits against Pennsylvania to stop the vote. Do they have a leg to stand on?
No, not really. So especially what they're asking Pennsylvania to do, basically, is to not count the votes that came in after Election Day that were postmarked by Election Day. The problem is their state Supreme Court signed off on that and said that was okay, and the U.S. Supreme Court signed off on that with a 4-4 decision, with John Roberts joining the 3 liberals on the court to say that they weren't going to overturn that state Supreme Court decision. And so for them now to step in and say, oh, sorry, we changed our mind, and basically take away those votes from people who voted in good faith, thinking that was the law under which they were operating. And so the court, I think it would be very, very unlikely that they would reverse themselves to actually tell people to change the rules of the game after the fact would really not be something the court has ever done before. Yeah. So I don't think that's very likely.
Yeah, they followed the rules and they voted. Their vote should count.
Exactly. And so you need to count all the votes that were cast with the understanding of that's how they would be counted. And so to change the rules of the game after the fact just wouldn't be a fair way to hold an election.
What do you think happened in Wisconsin? For what happened? Why did President Trump lose our state this time?
Well, it's interesting when you look at the county-by-county results in Wisconsin. There's a lot of stability between the 2016 and the election yesterday, that of our 72 counties, 70 of them voted the same way they voted in 2016. Only Sauk and Door County were the only 2 that actually flipped from Trump to Biden. Every other county went the same way they went 4 years earlier. And in fact, what we saw is the counties actually polarizing, that about 33 of the counties that Donald Trump carried in 2016, he carried by a bigger margin than he carried before. And then there was another, smaller number that were about the same margin. And then Joe Biden actually carried the Clinton counties by a somewhat larger margin than Clinton had carried them. And so there was a dividing where the state was even more polarized now in this election than it was in 2016.
Yeah.
Divided is the word. It really is. Well, hopefully we'll have a president-elect by the end of this week. We'll have to wait and see. David, thanks
I think there's a pretty good chance we should know by the end of the week.
All right.
Don't go far. We might be
sir.
calling you again. David, thank you so much for your time. Good to see you.
All right, shifting gears now. Still to come at 4. A lot of people use vinegar as a household cleanser, and for most projects, it's pretty effective.
But there are some surfaces that you should keep vinegar out of the process. We'll find out the do's and don'ts coming up after Chris's First Warn forecast.
The best deals in America are on now at Furniture and Appliance Mart's Black November Veterans Day Appliance Sale. Get our best Black Friday appliance deals and doorbusters now. Plus 18 months interest-free. Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline. Thanks to those who served.
Do you have dry, cracked hands from constant washing, cold weather, and hard work? Try O'Keefe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands. Also available in O'Keefe's for healthy feet. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked feet.
Over time, things wear down. Tires, brakes, and headlight bulbs too. Sylvania's lighting experts know that if you wait until burnout, you'll lose up to 50 feet of visibility. That's from here to here in darkness. Switch to a new pair of Sylvania bulbs today and see better tonight.
The Medicare enrollment deadline is only weeks away, and there's so many unanswered questions. Like, do you know if your plan is still the right fit? Having the wrong Medicare plan can cost you thousands. And that's why I love Health Markets, your insurance marketplace. What if you didn't have to shop for health insurance again? Health Market's FitScore Forever Promise is the answer. It continuously scans the market to compare your plan against any new options year after year, while helping answer all your Medicare questions. Like, does your plan have no copays, no deductibles, or $0 premiums? Health Markets has the answer. Does your plan offer dental and vision coverage? How about hearing aids, glasses, wellness visits, and even telemedicine at no additional cost? Health Markets has the answer. Find the answer from the #1 ranked health insurance agency in America.
Your insurance marketplace, Health Markets.
Call 800-964-0790. That's 800-964-0790. Call now.
Millions of customers are leaving their providers and switching to Spectrum.
And if you have satellite, it's not hard to see why. Because unlike satellite, Spectrum gives you all the services you need, like internet and TV from one provider.
They do?
Yeah, they do. And Spectrum has the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds at 200 megabits for $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. Spectrum wins on TV, too. Unlike satellite, Spectrum doesn't have an ugly dish to install. And you get exclusive premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
Wow, really?
Really? Plus, Spectrum has more free HD and free on demand. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. And unlike satellite providers, Spectrum doesn't have contracts or early termination fees. We'll even buy out your current contract up to $500. Switch to America's fastest growing internet, TV, and voice provider. Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each. Ask about our easy self-install options. Call 833-909-4499.
The best deals in America are at Ashley Home Store's Black November Veterans Day sale. Save up to 60% off Black Friday deals and doorbusters now. Plus, interest-free financing for 3 years and bonus Black Friday discounts at checkout. Only at Ashley Home Store. Thanks to those who served.
Well, take a look at this. Derek is in absolute awe of his newborn son. You're watching his incredible reaction to the first time he's holding his little boy. He's transfixed over on his son, Jack, and can't take his eyes off him. You can see the joy, wonder, and amazement on his face as he stares at every facial feature and takes it all in. Derek and his wife, Sarah, shared the entire birthing process online for their family and friends.
Oh, look at Mom's.
Mom's had it.
That's an incredible, that really is an incredible moment, though. That's beautiful.
Holding it for the first time.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful.
We needed images like that today, I thought.
Perfect. Good timing.
That and the weather.
Yeah, and the weather is so great.
I know. I was going to say sometimes I look at the forecast data in a very similar way.
Is your mic on?
Oh, there we go.
You're just like
I just had a whole spill right
just
there.
Like me.
It's the day after the election.
That's right.
We are. But Noah said that clip was absolutely incredible. And the weather, of course, the same way, at least for the first half of the forecast. The second half of the forecast is something that's a little different, but we have the full forecast coming up.
High Point Steakhouse has your holidays covered with take and bake menu items your family will love and a free $25 gift certificate. But get your order in now or you'll miss it. High Point Steakhouse, Southern Wisconsin's premier supper club.
The ups and downs of frequent mood swings can take you to deep depressive lows or give you unusually high energy even when depressed. Overwhelmed by bipolar 1? Ask about Vraylar. Some medicines only treat the lows or highs. Vraylar effectively treats depression, acute manic, and mixed episodes of bipolar 1 in adults. Full spectrum relief for all bipolar 1 symptoms with just one pill once a day. Elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis have an increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. High cholesterol and weight gain, high blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, may occur. Movement dysfunction, sleepiness, and stomach issues are common side effects. When bipolar 1 overwhelms, Vraylar helps smooth the ups and downs.
Hello. Oh. I wish to inquire about your free phone deal. Is there anything hidden I should be aware of?
No, sir.
No hidden plan requirements?
You choose your plan.
No hidden phone trade-ins?
Keep your phone.
No hidden activation fees or other trickery where video recorded evidence would be beneficial?
None.
Interesting.
Lovely scarf.
What camera?
Get the latest phones free with no hidden requirements. US Cellular. Upgrade to Fair.
Great day on the lake. It is.
Lunch is cooking.
And I saved a bunch of money on my boat insurance with Geico. Oh, yeah? Fellas, can it get any better than this? Whoa. My old hairstyle grew back. So did mine.
What? I was an 80s kid.
It only gets better when you switch and save with Geico.
High Point Steakhouse, Southern Wisconsin's premier supper club. You can still enjoy our award-winning steak dinners with our new takeout and delivery service. We call it the High Point Steakout. Call in your order today.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It has been another quiet weather day across much of the country. Good news for the newsrooms, who have certainly been busy. But here's how things look weather map-wise across the country. Other than some snow in parts of Montana and some rain throughout, snow in parts of Maine and rain throughout parts of the Pacific Northwest, it's been sunshine, minus this batch of cloud cover moving through the center part of the country. That includes us here throughout the upper Midwest with more sunshine today. More cloud cover, though, from the south is going to attempt to sneak in as we go into the overnight hours. But in the meantime, a warm front has passed by towards the north. We are still under the influence of this southerly wind flow, and as long as we keep that around, our weather is going to be absolutely warm and still quiet, with high pressure overall being in control for us. This is high resolution Doppler as we've gone through today. Quiet not only here throughout south central Wisconsin, but the entire state and, well, like I said just moments ago, much of the country. Here's a live look outside right now. You can see a little bit of that cloud cover trying to sneak in from the south, but even still, it's fairly thin. There's still a bit of sunshine out on that horizon, and we said our forecast high today would be 68. That is exactly where we topped out. 68 is our temperature right now. Wind still coming out of the south and southwest at 8 miles per hour. One of the other things that was said when it comes to the forecast for today is that some spots would make it towards the 70-degree mark. Again, nail on the head. Janesville made it towards 70. A couple other spots made it towards 70 as well. But now we're starting to cool down, and you have most of us into the mid and upper 60s. Here's what happens as we go through the overnight hours. Those clouds move in. With that, temperatures are going to be fairly mild. 46 is where we're calling it for your overnight low. Tomorrow, we'll see some clouds in the morning. That sunshine returns into the afternoon. But what we're also going to be seeing in the afternoon is a northerly wind flow. So temperatures may not be as warm tomorrow, but we're still going to be fairly nice. Then it's tomorrow afternoon. It's the 40s again. We're closer to the 70-degree mark again moving into your Friday. Here's what we have going on. There's a big ridge in the jet stream. This brings us typically quiet weather and warm weather, but changes are brewing. Check out what's happening in the western part of the country. This big dip all along the west coast that eventually works its way into the central plains. We call that a trough. That brings cooler weather and stormier weather out ahead of that and behind it. So here we are. That trough starts to move in. We see cooler air filtering in by the middle of next week. We will also likely turn stormier by the middle of next week as well. Here's the extended forecast. We're breaking that down. We're quiet, we're mild all the way up through the weekend. By Monday, that's when that trough arrives in the form of a cold front. You're going to see showers and even thunderstorms out ahead of that. But we are colder by Tuesday. That high of 50 likely comes at midnight, with temperatures dropping all day on Tuesday, and then we cannot rule out the possibility of snowflakes mixing in Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then a rain-snow mix early on Wednesday morning. From there, it looks like temperatures are going to be stabilizing into the low 40s for those afternoon highs and upper 20s for overnight lows. But I can tell you, a lot of the model data really wants to keep us into the 30s for those highs once we get towards the middle of next week.
Back to November.
Back to
November, and in a big way. So soak up this weather that we have out there right now.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Even before COVID-19 spawned shortages of bleach and other cleaning supplies, many folks were turning to dry cleaning solutions for tidying around the home.
And while vinegar is one of the ingredients often touted as the go-to all-purpose cleaning companion, Consumer Reports warns that it may do more harm than good when you're cleaning certain surfaces in your home. Leah Linscheid reports.
A simple search on cleaning with vinegar will likely yield hundreds of results, proclaiming the acidic liquid's mighty cleaning powers. But let's get one thing straight. There is no evidence that vinegar is effective against the coronavirus. What if your goal is just to remove dirt and grime around your house? Well, vinegar might be good for that.
So vinegar is great for cleaning windows and descaling your coffee maker, but it does have its limits, and it could even potentially damage your home's appliances.
Many of these items can be found in the very place you'd likely use vinegar to clean, the kitchen.
Vinegar can eat away at certain synthetic rubbers, and it can corrode different grades of stainless steel, especially if there's already scratches or chips on it.
Even the fine edge on sharp knives can be pitted by exposing the knife to vinegar. Stick with a liquid dish detergent and warm water when cleaning your knives. Vinegar is also a no-no for stone and wood surfaces.
The acid in vinegar can pit, scar, etch, and dull the surfaces of natural stone countertops.
It's best to go with a specialty cleaner formulated to clean those types of stone, or a sponge or towel dipped in a mild detergent and water solution. Vinegar can also cloud, soften, or etch the finish of wood floors. Instead, follow the manufacturer's recommendations or use a cleaner that's made specifically for hardwood floors. And even if vinegar won't hurt a surface, it might not be the best tool for the task.
Vinegar is safe to use on your kitchen range, but if it's a greasy mess you're looking to clean, it's not going to do much. For that, you're going to want an alkaline-based cleaner like ammonia or borax.
For smooth cooktops, CR recommends using a specifically formulated cleaner for ceramic cooktops. For News 3 Now, this is Leah Lynchide.
By the way,
DIY.
Do it yourself, not dry cleaner solution.
I use dry cleaner solution.
That's why your stuff is super clean.
I'm taking the day after the election off.
Right. Consumer Reports also says skip the vinegar as a dishwasher cleaner as well. Testers found it didn't do anything to remove hard water stains.
You hear that, Matt? He's wrong. He said he uses it. All right, and avoid putting anything into your washing machine, too. That can eat away at the rubber parts and other mechanisms, causing issues down the road. Producer Matt uses it in both.
Where do you get dry cleaner solution, anyway?
At the dry cleaning store.
Okay.
All right, Zorba Pastor.
Yes, Dr. Zorba Pastor is coming up.
If your dry eye symptoms keep coming back, inflammation in your eye might be to blame.
Looks like a great day for achy, burning eyes.
Over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating your eyes and may provide temporary relief.
Ha! These drops probably won't touch me.
Xiidra works differently, targeting inflammation that can cause dry eye disease.
What is that? Xiidra? No!
It can provide lasting relief.
Oh.
Xiidra is the only FDA-approved treatment specifically for the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. 1 drop in each eye, twice a day. Don't use if you're allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort, or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. After using Xiidra, wait 15 minutes before reinserting contacts.
Got any room in your eye?
Talk to an eye doctor about twice daily Xiidra.
I'd prefer you didn't.
Xiidra. Not today, dry eye.
Do you take daily prescription pain medications, but they don't help enough? Do you want more options to better manage chronic pain? University of Wisconsin-Madison STAMP study offers free, safe, therapeutic programs to address chronic pain. The programs occur once a week for 8 weeks and pays up to $340. Call 608-212-6902 today. Again, that's 608-212-6902.
Happy Hour just got hoppier at IHOP with a $5 menu featuring pancakes, burgers, and more yum-yums. So while you can't buy happiness, you can buy hoppiness. IHOP Hour, every day from 2 to 10 p.m.
Thinking about your financial plan? So are we. Prudential helps 25 million people with their financial needs. With over 90 years of investment experience, our thousands of financial professionals can help. Go to Prudential.com or talk to an advisor.
We've been helping families make joy for over 100 years. In America, we're not about to take this year off. So at the Ford Built for the Holiday sales event, get 0% APR financing for 60 months, 90 days payment deferment, and $2,000 trade assist cash on select Ford SUVs and Fusion. That's on top of what your eligible trade is worth. So get the family together, take the scenic route, and make some joy this season. Ford, Built for the Holidays.
Tonight at 5, President Trump won Wisconsin 4 years ago. Now Joe Biden has flipped the state by narrow margins. We'll tell you how at 5.
It definitely feels like our temperatures are settling back towards September. We'll stay in the 60s through the weekend with some rain chances for next week. We'll take a closer look at your full forecast.
And ahead at 6, the Trump campaign signals they will call for a recount in Wisconsin. We'll take a look at that process tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Boy, is that a beautiful shot.
Picture perfect.
Yep, the sun is starting to set over downtown Madison. Sunny and warm today. The sunsets and sunrises have been beautiful.
Yeah, they really have.
Very nice. Well, all eyes are on the results of last night's election, of course, but one thing is certain, no matter the result, the pandemic isn't going away anytime soon.
It is not. Dr. Zorba Pastor joins us now to talk about the latest headlines, and later on he'll take your calls. We'll let you know when to call in. Hello, Zorba.
Hi, Zorba. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We just reported that the federal government's giving the UW system 250,000 rapid tests to use for students.
Right.
How accurate are these rapid tests?
Well, you know, the real issue is the accuracy of COVID testing in the first place. So there are false positives and false negatives. A false positive is when it says you have coronavirus, you have COVID and you don't. And a false negative is when it says you don't have COVID and you do. So let's talk about the false positives, because I want to give a good example of someone in my practice. So here it was a guy. He turned out to be positive, and the reason that he got tested in the first place is he has 2 children, and in the daycare center, someone was positive for COVID. So everybody, all the parents, all the kids got tested for COVID. So both of his children did not have COVID. His wife did not have COVID, and he ended up being positive for COVID. He said, I don't quite understand it. Nobody else in my family has it. What should I do? I said, what you should do is go and get another test. Go and get a test. You can get a test. The first test was at the Alliant Energy Center. So got another test, not at the Alliant Energy Center, at his doc, and the other test showed indeed it was negative, that he didn't have COVID. So he said, what's going on? Why was it positive one time and negative another time? And the answer is between 5 and 40% of the time, the positive tests are actually wrong. So it's a big issue. And then he talked to the person at the Alliant Energy Center and said, wait a minute, they've never heard anything of it. And that's the reason, because most people who get a positive test never get retested. And so the problem is we've got some positives out there who really don't have COVID. And then on the other side, we have some negatives who really do have COVID. As far as the university testing is concerned, I'm not exactly sure which test they're getting and what it is. But once again, you've got somewhere between 5 and 40% of the tests are not accurately reflecting whether or not you have COVID. And that's why sometimes a second test to either document you have it or you don't have it can be very, very useful. And then if it's different, talk to your doctor and try to get an interpretation.
So how much time should you wait in between tests?
Well, first of all, if you get COVID, the test is generally not going to be positive until about 5 days after you actually contracted COVID. So I would say if you have a positive COVID test, you should probably wait 2, maybe 3 days. And if it's in the Alliant Energy Center, they're not going to give it to you for 2 or 3 days. So as soon as you get a test, if you're unsure about it, call your doctor. If it's a question, get another test. Now, I'm not suggesting everyone get a second test, but I am suggesting that they consider it, especially if the chances of them giving COVID are very minimal. Now, if he had come into contact with somebody with COVID, been in the same room, a relative or friend or something else, then I would not have suggested that he get the second test. It's that his child was with another child and somebody in that daycare had COVID, and 3 of the other people in his family didn't have COVID. So the risk of his getting COVID is actually very minimal. And that's where you've got to have clinical interpretation to determine what really is your risk if you've got a test that doesn't fit with the information.
Interesting. Very interesting.
All right, now is your chance to call in 270-9933. Have your questions ready. We'll get to them right after the break.
Really great designer, and she loves Christmas.
Lisa, is that you?
I think it's me.
Welcome to the Bruce Company, everybody. Christmas has taken over in the beautiful Bruce Company showroom. Lisa has been working her tail off along with all of her elves to make all of this magic happen.
It's a 10-week process, and we're really proud of it. And we hope that everyone will come and visit, because it's really beautiful. And it puts you in the mood, being home for the holidays, and maybe a little bit of normality.
Totally.
Yes.
I love it.
Come in and you can experience it.
Let's get to decorating inside.
Yes, so the new lights this year are called RGB.
Okay.
There are different diodes in each bulb, and they can endlessly mix to create millions of colors.
Awesome.
And so they're really fun. They also do all kinds of special effects. We have them on a tree, a pre-lit tree, and then we also have them as lights, strings of lights.
Okay. And these are like remote controlled, so you could really have fun.
Yes, they have remotes. Yes, you can.
Any more tips for decorating?
Well, we've got all kinds of greens for outside too, so come on in and you can stuff your pots, your porch pots. It's a really good time to transition, so all kinds of really beautiful greens and sticks and outdoor berry picks and all kinds of stuff to sort of make your home look beautiful inside and out, top to bottom, decking your halls.
Come in here, get inspired. It's exactly why she works as hard as she does every single year to make this so beautiful.
Yes, and we want you to be home for the holidays and have a great time.
Oh, sounds so nice. Mr. Bear, come on up here. I'm Emmy Fink.
And I'm Lisa Briggs.
And you are buzzed into Madison.
My psoriatic arthritis pain, I had enough. It's not getting in my way.
Joint pain, swelling, tenderness, much better.
My psoriasis, clearer. Cosentix works on all of this.
4 years and counting.
So watch out.
I got this.
Watch me.
Real people with active psoriatic arthritis look and feel better with Cosentix. Cosentix works fast for results that can last. It treats the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis, like joint pain and tenderness, back pain, and helps stop further joint damage. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur.
I just look and feel better.
I got real relief with Cosentix.
Watch me.
Feel real relief. Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
Well, Disney researchers are creating a humanoid robot with a lifelike gaze, and right now it's looking pretty creepy.
It is.
The project is a partnership with the California Institute of Technology and the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. The goal, the group says, is getting robot eyes to react like biological ones. It's a multi-step process. Disney researchers say that they're thinking of the robots like animated characters, and that goal is to make them believably lifelike.
Mission accomplished.
Yikes.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
It's time to get your coronavirus questions answered.
The number to call if you have a question for Dr. Zorba Pastor is 270-9933. There he is, standing by in his clinic in Oregon. And let's start with Joanne in Plain. Hi, Joanne. What's your question?
Hi. My husband Bob and I are both snowbirds that go to Florida for the winters. And the reason I'm calling is I wonder what Dr. Zorba, we're going to drive to Chicago, have a nonstop flight from Chicago to Tampa. What is your idea of what we can do to keep safe on that plane?
Well, first of all, when you drive to Chicago, if you're going to get on the plane directly, the safest thing to do is to wear an N95 mask. The N95 is really the safest mask you can wear. If you want to be super, you can either wear a face shield or you can put on goggles. You can buy goggles and face shields on Amazon.com. Bring something to wipe off the seat. Even they're going to wipe off the seat. You want to wipe off the seat also. And then look on the airplane. You want to have you want to sit together, but not together. You want to have that middle seat empty so you don't have anyone else in your row. And those are really the things. I'll tell you, if you go to the Wall Street Journal, they have an excellent article. If you go to WSJ.com, Wall Street Journal, they have a really good article on how to fly safely. I highly recommend it. It's a good resource.
Oh, that's good to know.
Oh, that's good to know. And I'm so happy to talk to you, Dr. Zorba. I miss Mark and Susan and all the gang there when we are in Florida for the winter.
Well, have a safe trip.
You can stream us on the
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very lucky.
Bye-bye now.
All right, thank you. Have a good winter.
Thank you for calling.
All right, no, line 2 is not that. Let's go to Tom in Madison. Hi, Tom. What's your question?
Hi, how you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. Really good. So my question relates to if you decide to go drive someplace like Door County, you stay at a resort, you have your own room and all, and you wipe everything down, you wear the mask, social distancing, all the protocol you're supposed to take all your food with you. Is that safe?
I think that is relatively safe. So I like to look at safety point of view of anything. When you get in your car and you drive, is it safe? Well, it's not quite the same as sitting at home because you take a risk. When you go up, you're going to a place, you want to make sure that they use essentially the hotel or the Airbnb, whatever, has cleaned the room before you go in. If you bring your food with you, you're reducing tremendously the amount of risk that you have. If you eat in restaurants, of course that's going to increase your risk because you're going to be around other people. And if you look at people in the state of Wisconsin, there are too many people that don't wear masks. You wear a mask when you go shopping up there. You want to go shopping, either during that senior hour when there are fewer people at a grocery store. Many grocery stores have it, or in the middle of the day when there are fewer people. Using common sense, I don't think you have to stay at home. I think you just have to look at the risk, make it as small as you can, and then go for it.
All right. People getting a little restless.
Yeah. Let's go to Virginia in Baraboo. Hi, Virginia. What's your question?
Hi. My question is, my grandson was tested, and the parents are called to pick him up from school because he had some symptoms. So he was tested, and he had a negative. He was tested negative. But he, 3 days before he was tested, he couldn't taste things, and he was having headaches. And so then I asked him like a week later, I said, well, I've been checking with him quite often. I said, how are you feeling? And be honest. He said, well, I said, do you have headaches, anything? He said, I have headaches. I still can't taste anything.
Sure.
He was tired, and he had diarrhea. And
Right. That's right. He should be retested. It's exactly what you think it should be. It could be retested. Maybe he did have COVID. Maybe it was too early to pick it up. Maybe it was a false negative. If he has symptoms, especially that loss of taste, which is really one of the symptoms, everything else, he should call his doctor, get retested. Very important. Very important also for the people that he's been around to make sure he's retested. That's what he should do. That's what I would recommend if he were my patient.
Should the people around him get tested as well?
I think I would have him get retested first. If he's negative, I wouldn't be concerned. If he was positive, the answer is yes.
There are other things to get besides COVID, too.
Right, you bet. A lot of other things cause illnesses. There are a lot of other viruses. We live in Wisconsin. Viruses simply come to haunt us every fall and every winter and every spring. Believe me.
Welcome to Wisconsin. All right, Matthew in Middleton. Hi, what's your question?
Yes, my question is, with all the false negatives and false positives coming back from getting tested, why are so many people lining up to get tested even?
No, because that's how we actually pick it up. I mean, there's an error rate, and no matter what we do, if you do a strep test, if you do a mammogram, for instance, to see whether or not you have breast cancer, there's always a false positive and a false negative. The only way we're going to get this under control is to test people and try to get the people out of circulation who have COVID. So even if there are some false positives and false negatives, it's better than nothing. And the reality is the virus knows no political form. It's here to terrorize us. That's exactly what it's doing. All you have to do is look at Europe and look at the lockdowns now. We're beginning to have another surge in viruses in COVID because we're coming indoors, we're commingling with one another. So the answer is yes. More testing is actually better than less testing. So that's why it's important to ramp things up. That's why we're getting some extra testing at the University of Wisconsin.
There's a lot of COVID out there. Be careful.
You bet.
All right. Zorba, thank you.
Thank you, Zorba. Great to see you. And thanks for your calls today, everybody. We'll do this again next week.
And we'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.
The best deals in America are on now at Ashley Home Store's Black November Veterans Day mattress sale. Get amazing holiday deals and doorbusters from top mattress brands. Plus, interest-free financing for up to 6 years. Only at Ashley Home Store. Thanks to those who served.
We made USAA insurance for members like Martin, an Air Force veteran made of doing what's right, not what's easy. So when a hailstorm hit, USAA reached out before he could even inspect the damage.
That's how you do it right.
USAA insurance is made just the way Martin's family needs it. With hassle-free claims, he got paid before his neighbor even got started. Because doing right by our members, that's what's right. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
USAA. Why Cedar? Because when I get home, we like to play crocodile on the floor.
Promis Max's pad removes over 99% of bacteria with just water. Better cleaning with less waste. Cedar, it feels great to feel at home.
I got your back, you got mine. Think about you all the time. Together we can come through. That's what love's made of. Give thanks, no matter how you share it.
My lips get so dry and cracked, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keefe's Lip Repair. It's all-day moisture in one use and is guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked lips.
Also available in O'Keefe's Working Hands.
Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands.
The best deals in America are at Ashley Home Store's Black November Veterans Day sale. Save up to 60% off Black Friday deals and doorbusters now. Plus, interest-free financing for 3 years and bonus Black Friday discounts at checkout. Only at Ashley Home Store. Thanks to those who served.
Just talking about that, it's a little...
All right, we're going to see some sunshine for Thursday and Friday. Temperatures, they're going to be into the upper 60s to right around 70. Then we cool down into next week with highs staying in the low 40s.